The narrator arrives at the house of his friend Roderick Usher after receiving a letter from him in which he informs him about his illness and seeks his help. The narrator observes the melancholic atmosphere around and the mysterious look of the house and its eye-like windows. He observes a crack extending from the roof of the building and down to the water of the lake. On one of the staircases, he meets the physician of the family, who seems perplexed and passes on. When he enters the room so large and lofty, he sees many books and musical instruments, but still there is a gloom lurking all around. On his entry, Usher arises from the sofa and meets him warmly. His friend, once remarkable in health, has now turned so feeble. He realizes he is suffering from a morbid acuteness of senses. He cannot tolerate some food, garments, and odors. He feels agitated even on the trivial incidents. Roderick Usher appears to be unstable mentally, physically, and emotionally. "I shall perish," says Roderick Usher to the narrator. He tells narrator about his family mansion, that there is something wrong with the house and his illness is connected with it. He also shares that his gloom and severity of nature is also because of his sister's bitter illness. Roderick and Madeline are the only members left of the Usher family. While they are talking, Madeline passes and disappears without noticing him. Roderick shares with grief and tears about his sister's mysterious illness and that doctors cannot cure her. At night of his arrival, Roderick shares about his sister's death with agitation. For many days, none of them utters her name. The narrator tries to appease and calm him by painting and reading books, but everything he does proves to be futile. Roderick Usher wants to keep the dead body of Madeline for a fortnight in one of the vaults before her final burial. He doesn't want any inquiries from her physicians. The narrator helps him for that temporary burial. They partially turns aside the lid of the coffin. There, the narrator sees the face of Madeline and learns that both of them are twins. Later, they screw down the lid and move to the upper portion of the house. For the next days, there is a marked change in the behavior of Roderick. He roams from room to room. He looks ghastly, as if laboring to tell some secret. He behaves as if listening to some sounds. The narrator feels terrified, and on the 7th or 8th day of her death, he is unable to sleep. He tries hard but cannot. He gets up and suddenly feels someone on the nearby staircase. That was Roderick Usher with a lamp. He behaves hysterically and opens one of the windows and throws lamp outside in the storm. He behaves as if he has seen someone. The narrator tries to comfort him by reading Mad Trist, but the story is coincidentally parallel to Usher's, and the sounds in the story he has been listening in reality. In a mad fury, Roderick Usher reveals that they have buried Madeline alive, and he has been listening to her sounds and struggle for days, but he dares not say that. Suddenly, the front door opens, and there is the lofty figure of Madeline Usher. There is blood upon her white robes. For some time she keeps trembling and reeling to and fro. Then with a low moaning sound, she falls heavily upon her brother. Both of them die at the spot. The narrator flees from the house. When he comes outside, the same crack he sees in the beginning, when he arrives, widens, and the whole house crumbles on the lake, and that lake with tumultuous sound closes over the fragments of the house. There is no more house of Ushers there.